Coach Peanut Head says, how's the training going? Are you ready, Toe? No, and I want to be called Toe. I've really fallen in love with Toe, and Coach I adore. I love Coach. I would say, am I ready? Okay, this is going to be a problematic statement. I don't want to end up eating my words on this, but I know my opponent. I've worked with my opponent before. I feel like I'm ready for the person I'm going to face. Do I feel like I'm ready in general to be like at my best? No. I've still got about 8 or 9 pounds to go. But no drinking. I haven't been drinking. I haven't been smoking crack. So all of that is good. Miss Tay says Gordy has abandonment issues. F you, ape. Now stop. I'm going to talk about, and nobody's really asked about it, which I'm proud of the audience for not asking about it. I think everybody's ready to move on with their life. But I'll talk a little bit about the Nick plea deal tomorrow. I'll kind of gather my thoughts on that. I haven't really thought about it that much. I'm just happy that whole part of my life is coming to an end. I'm kind of happy that, and everybody's kind of going their separate ways, and they have a second chance to work on themselves. My thing's almost done. Nick's thing is almost done. And I think it worked out best that everyone's just going off. And I'm not saying everyone's going to better themselves, but everyone's been handed an opportunity to better themselves. And I think that's important. Everyone has an opportunity to reflect on the sins of their past, acknowledge them. What's the word you're looking for? Disavow them and move on as not a different person, but like a better version of themselves. I think that's great. I really do. I know nobody's happy about it. Everybody's either mad because he doesn't deserve it or mad because he deserves more. I guess I'm just used to living in Minnesota. This is by the book. This is how it's supposed to go. But honestly, we'll get into it tomorrow. I don't want to speak off the cuff because I haven't really given it a lot of thought. I guess what I'll say is this. Everyone, no matter what happens, no matter how you feel about someone personally or the history that there may be, I believe everyone deserves a second chance, especially if they're truly repentant and they're truly sorry. And when they're given that second chance, you hope that they take advantage of it. That's all the thought that I have right now. Los Federales says, word on the street is that Nick's parents paid Ape to leave and cut Nick out. Who the would know that? Like, honestly, who the would know that? What? What? Like, okay, this, again, another thing I love about the internet, the people going ree and losing their shit. And then also the people are like, I know exactly what happened. This is exactly what, it's like, what the are you talking about? Like, just listening to all of these theories and all of these, I bet you Nick's parents paid her and she left and now they cut him out. I'm like, what? Why? Show your work. Show your work. Nico says, I'm assuming people have made fun of the hair. No. Everyone's been very nice. Yeah, Oodles of Toodles and Josie Wales are like, Nick's story's going to come out and Nick will have a lot to say. I'm sure it was a very traumatic time in his life. Why wouldn't he? They say it that like, they're like, oh, you better look out. I've been out of there for a year. Like, my life is onward and upward. I will say this. He's not going to find any peace if he keeps looking back. That's for sure. I mean, vengeance, if you feel people have wronged you, great. But if the state gives you a second chance to be a decent human being and you go to vengeance, you're only going to hurt yourself. That poisons the soul. TV's Will Heron says, Aaron, has Keem reached out? Oh, Will, you little gossip snipe. No. I don't think so. I don't think Keemstar has reached out. I would have known. Oh, man. Los Federales says it was said by Nate the lawyer he's good friends with Nick. When did he say that? Nate said that, huh? Yeah, but then again, what the would Nate know? I think Nate's good at what he does, but that doesn't mean that he's got good information. Rusty Grammar with a great point. He says, you people put way too much effort into your parasocial relationships. Do you not have family or friends to care about? This behavior is fascinating and concerning at the same time. It's not concerning to me. It's fascinating. But it's not concerning because I don't, people are going to pull up or they aren't. But I will say this. If you're this obsessed about the toe that you're just whole attitude, like I can feel the tightness in their muscles as they type. They're like, we got to get them this time. And you're like, sorry, bud. I mean, I hope that energy doesn't like make you lose your shit, but it could. It could. Yeah, Rusty Grammar says it's mind-blowing. Day in and day out, get some fresh air for sake. They won't. And the more we tell them to, it's like having teenagers. The more you tell them to, the more they're going to do the opposite. You can't tell me what to do. I mean, I make jokes that I'm their daddy, but they really do treat me like I'm an abusive father, which, you know what? That might be where a lot of it comes from. Might have been beaten by their dad. Could be the case. Nico says Nate and Nick had a falling out over the drugs. Okay. Red Fox Mad says, I wish everyone the best, and I hope everyone learns from this hard time that everyone found themselves in. Hopefully people don't repeat the degenerate behavior. And that's what everyone wants. That's what everyone wants. Just learn something from it. If you try to go back to your old ways or you don't repent from your old ways, they're always going to be lurking right over their shoulder. You got to disavow everything you did that got you there and do something else for sure. And when you're talking about drug and alcohol abuse, you can call me a square if you want to. Going to 12-step meetings wouldn't hurt. Going to 12-step meetings, you can find a lot of peace there if that's what you want. Los Federales says, bruh, I'm just relaying what he said. He uploaded a video, I think, the last day or two once the plea deal went public. Okay, well, Los Federales, you know more than I do then. Like I said, I haven't really thought a lot about it. I haven't really looked at a lot of stuff about it. I apologize. If you're right, then I'm wrong. I hope Nick can afford the current house after Monograph is done with him, not for Nick's sake, but for the kids. Someone did send me the, what do you call it? Like the comparative case in Minnesota to that one. And the person had to pay out like $350,000. I don't know if that's how it works in that world. I'm not really sure. Let's go to assistant coach Pakistan. He says, if Nick is guilty, you're regretting the guilty verdict. I don't know what that means. TV's Will Heron says the sex, drugs, and rock and roll stuff wasn't the problem. I think it's the effect with kids around, I have noticed. That people have a problem with? Oh. Well, I think the sexual behavior is remarkably unhealthy. I know it was for me. I know it's, it's immoral. It's wrong. It's and it people up, and it's not sustainable. And from a legal standpoint, no, there's nothing wrong with it. From a moral standpoint, yeah, there's a lot of problems.